but I'm going to be trying out this Liquid Frost from Green Stuff World. It's not something that I have ever used before, but it promises to just kind of, you paint it on, and then as it dries, it looks like frost. So it kind of has that crackling ice look that you would get without, not necessarily so much snow, but definitely that kind of icy frost, which is great. This is an early Christmas present, so I'm very excited to get cracking with this. Get it cracking like the snow. Yeah, we'll move on swiftly. So yeah, but because I've never used this, I don't really know exactly how it works. So it's going to be a bit of an experiment, which you guys will be able to see how I get on with it. So for this, to test this out, I've got an older giant which I painted a while ago. So this is a Reaper giant, and you can see there's some snow on the base there. But overall, if you didn't see the base there, you wouldn't really know that there was much going on snow-wise, anything like that. So I'm going to put some of the Liquid Frost on the base, but I'm also going to put some on the Mini itself to try and kind of tie it together a little bit. The metal, I think, will be a great kind of medium for putting some of that stuff on. So hopefully that will tie it together. This Mini I painted years ago now, which is a funny thing to say. I still think of myself as being relatively new. I've probably been painting for about 4 years now. So yeah, we'll get cracking on that and see how it does. As I say, never used it before, so it will be an experiment. So I have with me here, so this is just an old, this used to be a mini blister pack, and I'm going to use this as my palette for this because I just don't know how it's going to react. I don't know if I put it on my wet palette, I don't want to mess that up, anything like that, and it's also quite nice and contained here, so this will be good for that. And I'm also, again, until I know how it works, I don't want to expose my good brushes to it, because sometimes these technical paints can wreak havoc with brushes and things like that. So I've got a really old brush here. It's old and knackered and the point's gone, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not looking to do really precision work with it. But as I say, I think from the little videos that I've seen of how this works, it looks like it takes quite a few layers and quite a lot of drying time to get how we want it. So I'm going to get cracking with that first, so that hopefully we can take another look. So hopefully we can get a look at how that's beginning to look by the end of the stream. That would be ideal. Yes, give a brush frostbite and all the little bristles fall out. That's not what we want, is it? So we give it a good shake, as always with these things. Now, from the video I've seen, I think it comes out fairly clear. Now, I think it's basically a salt solution. Hello. So we're just going to chuck it in here as my temporary thing. Oh, it's kind of milky white. You can kind of see it there. So I don't really know how much of this I need, but as noted, it's all a bit of an experiment. So we'll have a go. I'm going to start by putting some onto the base itself, just to see how that works. But I'm also then going to pick bits across the Mini to pick out as well. And yeah, it kind of goes on as you've seen that it's kind of milky white, so that's kind of how it looks on the Mini as well. But we'll see how that looks. It's once it starts to dry, really, that this is the key with this. So yeah, we'll just slap some of that on there. Now I am told that it also works for like the bushes, the little tufts, things like that. Now on this one I actually used kind of snow-covered tufts to begin with, so I'm not going to put it on there because I don't want to kind of mess around with that. But it does apparently work on those as well, which is great, and that's what we like to hear. But we'll avoid them for the time being. It's going on very nice and smoothly. It's flowing very easily and all that good stuff that we like from a paint. But I'm going to venture up the Mini. I think a bit of frost on the hide on the legs will look good. And I think that, as I say, it does apparently take a while to kind of dry and give you the effect. So because we're putting on multiple layers, it means that I can put a little bit on in some places, and I can put an absolute load on in others, and we can see what difference it makes. This is the miniature that I'm trying it on. So I painted him many moons ago, but you can see that I've put some of the liquid frost on some of these areas, and it's starting to do that kind of crystallizing thing that I was talking about. So it kind of evaporates away and leaves that kind of crystalline structure there. So it looks like, and you can see on the weapon as well, just starting to crystallize there as well. So yeah, it's definitely starting to have an effect. I think I'm definitely going to need to put some more on. It hasn't yet started frosting up his beard, which is what I was hoping for. So you can see that it's started, but I'm going to put some more on because I want to layer this up nicely. It's still doing okay in there, but I'm going to put some fresh in there as well. Given that this is my first use of this, I very much am kind of exploring it and experimenting with you guys at the same time. But I'm pretty pleased so far because I haven't put loads on. This is the first layer which has just been drying, which is now starting to kind of crystallize. I'm going to focus on his beard again because I like the idea of a frosty beard. Again, I should point out I don't want my beard to be frosty, but since I've shaved most of my beard off, it's not such an issue. Okay, so we'll get that going on there. We're going to leave that to dry again for a bit, and I'll show you that again before I finish the stream. So there's some places that I'm just doing a very slight covering, and there's others that I'm going to do a nice thick layer of frost so that it really gives you that good effect. Let's check in again on our Frosty Giant. Frosty the Giant Man. And yeah, you can definitely see it's starting to have an effect now. You can see down there on his, trying to think of a word that's more impressive than skirt, surcoat. Is that the bottom of his surcoat? I don't even know. But yeah, so that is the that's all from this liquid frost, as is the stuff on his boot down there. You can see it's starting. It's a little harder to see on this camera, but there's some on the metal as well, like the metal belt. There's some there. Just starting to get a little on the beard, not as much as I would like just yet. But yeah, I've been really impressed actually with how this is working. So this is only from 2 coats of this liquid frost. I think if you wanted a really heavy frost covering, you'd probably need quite a few, but they, again, you can see on the back of the fur on his legs, it's done really well from those 2 coats. It's really gone nicely there. You could do that with a dry brush, I guess, but I like the I do like the kind of brush on frost, and again on his back there you can see it on his tiny cloak. I'm not doing very well at describing pieces of equipment today, am I? But yeah, you can see there that it's definitely started to have an effect. So yeah, I'm very pleased with how it's going. What I'm going to do is do a couple more coats of that, I think, and then I'll share some pictures of that so that you can see really how that's looking afterwards. But yeah, good stuff. Hello, welcome. Yeah, what you? I don't know. What is that? It's not a tiny cloak. It's a thing. Yeah, but either way, it's a bit frosty now. Yeah, could be. Yeah, but so that's off to a good start with that. I'm going to put a little bit more on while I kind of wrap up for the day, because I realise that I've done my hour, which is kind of what I said I would do. My plan for all of my streams in the new year is to all of my mini painting streams Yeah, oh, it does kind of look like a poncho. That's a great shout. My plan for all of my mini painting streams in the new year is to be around about an hour, with a little bit of flexibility for finishing things off, and you don't want to finish after an hour if you've got 5 minutes left before you finish a great piece or something like that. But yeah, so but my plan is for each of my mini painting streams to be about an hour. My League of Legends stream, I think, will probably be a little bit longer because it gives me a chance to get a couple of games in. Because at the moment, I'm not getting much chance to play when it's not on my stream. So yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, I think the hour is a good amount of time to get some stuff done. But like now, obviously it's 3:05, so I've gone slightly over an hour. But somewhere between an hour and a quarter probably will be my standard for a stream, I should think.